about the need for people of color to be policed by their own communities. And Maria, you also talked about a study that you did that showed that Black officers actually police their communities harsher than some of them police their communities harsher because of the need to assimilate. And I think that unfortunately that's a very common problem around anyone of color who's been in a majority white space. So maybe Damon, you can talk about how do we change the police force in recruiting more African American and Latino police officers, given the distrust that exists among the communities of color and the police, and also how do we make it an environment where people don't feel the need to assimilate in order to succeed?
Well, you have to first, like I said, you have to look at the structure. You could have all the Black officers on the force that you need, but if you have an all-white male structure at the top that's controlling policies and procedures, nothing will change. And you also, when you have that, you also have the same people are in control of the hiring process. So African Americans or Black youth, they're not able to get the job because, those that are in charge of the hiring process hire people like them. But the problem is that we have to look at our politicians and our elected officials and our pastors and all the people that are in the community, because they do not step up, and we have to hold them accountable. I live in Westchester County, and that's why I'm late. And we do not have one Black police commissioner out of 43 departments. And that's crazy. I live in Mount Vernon. It's 70% Black. We have a Black mayor and a Black city council, but we don't have a Black police commissioner. So we have to hold our elected officials accountable to pass policies and procedures that will allow African Americans to get on the job. Now, when they're on the job, the reason why a lot of them stay quiet is because they've played that role, the spook who sat by the door, and went back to the politicians and back to the pastors and let them know what the problems are, and then they become attacked. I'm slandered. I still work. I do what I do, and I still go to work. But I could retire any day, so I have a little more freedom to say what I want to, because the retribution is not as great. But if you have a young cop, or a male or female, the retribution is great, and then there's no support system for those. We have organizations, but then they tell the young cop, well, you don't join the Guardians, don't join Blacks in Law Enforcement of America. They're racist. Come join the Emerald Society. What does that have to do with their African roots? And Black officers do join those organizations. So we try to be mentors to change the culture, but it's not enough. We're outnumbered. We're definitely outnumbered, and we need the moral support. But we do not get that because those that do speak out, you don't see us on MSNBC or CNN or anything like that. They don't have a cop that's going to say the system is racist. They know that they won't. I don't care how liberal the TV show is. They won't put people like that on there. They won't stay on too long. So the community does, when we do stand up, the media does not show us. We have to put it on YouTube, so people, or share it on Facebook, so people can actually see that Black cops do. We do care, because we deal with the racism in our personal life, just being outside of the department, and we also deal with the racism inside of the department. But more conversation like this to let the people know, that we know what the Black cops are going through. And it's sad to say that what happened in Dallas, because I think Chief Brown, and I also know Deputy Chief Malik Aziz in the Dallas Police Department. I know him very well. That police department is one of the most accountable police departments. And it's heartbreaking to see that it happened to that, to that police department, because Chief Brown runs a tight ship, and he has good community relations. But we need to we tell young officers to step up more, but when they do, they become targets. You know, you could look at some of the officers that say things on Facebook and look at the response of their comrades. You know, and that's on Facebook. So imagine what they say in the locker room. So we just try to support them more. That's all I can say. Try to support them more and let them know that you know what they're going through.